episode, whatever else today is for you people on YouTube. This is David B69 on YouTube and David B1969 on Twitch, broadcasting the last 2 weeks of the season for my year 1 franchise. So, really don't look at the weekly awards too often. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, we just got to beat the Cowboys. Nothing else really matters. And we just want to slow down Zeke. Okay. Okay. How do we not have...
Guys, we all watched the film from yesterday, and I hope everyone knows it wasn't good enough. Today's
Here we go. Blue 80! Here we go. Blue 80! Hold on! Here we go, Pac-Man. 120! What's that? Done! 180! Done! Go. 180! Hold on!
The pressure is on. This one is for the gold.
Wait, son!
All right. Small steps in the right direction. That's what we've been talking about. And you know what? Today you took a lot of those small steps. I'm proud of you. Keep it up.
Yeah. So you can see the Cowboys, they're in, they have the #1 seed. And these three teams are all AFC teams. And then the Eagles are pretty much the #2, but the highest we could be is #5. So, kind of a messed up situation. Somehow we haven't clinched the playoff spot. I'm still confused about that, but I'll digress.
Can Zeke deke again? It's a coach. You're watching Madden football on EA Sports. Coming up, Ezekiel Elliott, fresh off 100 yards a week ago, as it'll be the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Well, Coach, no precipitation to speak of, but still a very chilly December day in Philly. Winter coats and hot chocolate abound here at Lincoln Financial Field. The scene in South Philly a few moments ago. Boy, the city of brotherly love is fired up. They're saying fly, Eagles, fly, as they get ready to match up with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they enter play here. They come in playing pretty good football. Winners of 4 of their last 6 games. Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Cowboys, they come into this one off a bit of a clunker last time out, a loss that ended their 5-game winning streak. The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. This one taken from the 7th. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. There's Carson Wentz bringing out the Philadelphia Eagles. 21 touchdown passes, just 7 interceptions for him last year. until a back injury knocked him out in Week 14. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a two-time 1,000-yard rusher for the Bears. This is Jordan Howard. Call it no gain on the game's first play. And it's 2nd down now. Quickly now a look at the Eagles' offensive starters.
Running back Jordan Howard is a very powerful runner, can run through tackles, run over defenders. His rookie year finished 2nd in the league in rushing. In 2017, was 6th overall. 2018 found a shift in philosophy, didn't get the ball nearly as much, but he expects to return to form and be that crunching, punishing runner in 2019.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. He was trying to find Deshaun Jackson that time, and it's 3rd down.
120!
To throw is Wentz. Well, the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Cowboys under head coach Jason Garrett as they get set for their first opportunity. They'll be led out by the Mississippi State man, now in his 4th season in the National Football League, Dak Prescott.
Well, his ratio was good last week. Most quarterbacks are really excited about a 3-to-1 ratio, but it's flipped in the wrong direction. He threw 3 interceptions, not touchdown passes, and he only had the 1 TD pass in that game. So he's trying to turn that around and find a way for his team to win.
They run with Ezekiel Elliott, last year's NFL rushing leader. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. The numbers for Zeke from last week. 21 carries, 103 in the yardage department.
And a rushing title's definitely within sight, so the excitement on the offensive side of the football, I mean, they're bouncing off the walls wanting to get out there, but they also understand that they're going to face some really stacked defenses down the stretch because they don't want it to happen at their expense.
Now Elliott, and he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know, you know better than I, he has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
Looking to throw, Prescott, and he's able to hook up with Michael Gallup. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 11 yards and a Cowboy first down. With Cole Beasley now in Buffalo, you think that might open up some more targets for Michael Gallup. Last year as a rookie, 33 catches for the Dallas Cowboys. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. He's got the first down and more past midfield. And down to the 29-yard line. It's a gain of 34. A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot. But what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh, my goodness, did he put up a number, let's say 200 plus?
Caught by Cobb. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. A costly penalty there. A lineman got downfield, and for the moment, that cost him 6 points. They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. He's going to look end zone here for Cooper. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Amari Cooper, his intended receiver, and that'll bring up 2nd down. And the offensive starters for Dallas.
So let's all work together on this one because it's natural to just watch the football. But I want all of us to watch the center of this offensive line, the center and the two guards. They've got to be able to control the point of attack, and they didn't do such a good job on that last play. Plenty of opportunities to redeem themselves. They'll have to take advantage of that and start to make progress.
On 2nd and 15 now. Prescott. A look now at the defensive starters for Philadelphia. They played really well in the win last week over the Redskins.
And it was the pass rush that really keyed their victory. Got to the quarterback 6 times for sacks and plenty of other turbulence in the pocket for him as well.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Malcolm Jenkins, the strong safety, swoops in for the sack. Partner, we had their game last week where they had 6 sacks, so a little bit more momentum here again in the first quarter.
And last week it appeared that they were coming out of sprinters blocks, chasing the quarterback. So how do they continue that? How do they keep making it happen? Different looks, different disguises, different angles that they chase him.
They were so disruptive last week. We'll see what the trend is here as we go forward. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. The Eagles offense making their way back out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. And for them right now, not a done deal. So they are holding down one of the final wild card spots. And with 2 weeks to go, there are others kind of nipping at their heels a bit.
And imagine what the talk has been all week within their locker room. And it's really, let's rely on ourselves because they could get help and still get to the playoffs. But who wants that? Go out, win the game, take care of things yourself, and then you don't have anything else to worry about.
They go with Howard to begin the drive. They had a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16. Jalen Smith, the Notre Dame man, in on the tackle.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Now Wentz.
No.
And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Cowboy offense heading out. Let's take a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. As we count down through the final few weeks of the season, these guys have nothing to sweat about. They've clinched the top spots, so the road to the Super Bowl, it runs through them.
And there's a natural inclination here, partner, to say, okay, a lot of guys aren't going to play down the stretch. We've clinched. We're ready to go. But there's another part where you say, let's show the league why we're the #1 team. Maybe you intimidate someone. Maybe you dissuade them from thinking that they can beat you in the playoffs by going out and being really impressive down the stretch.
Absolutely, and you want to take momentum into the playoffs. There's also pride on the line for these guys individually.
Yeah, momentum and pride. Yeah, I'd make room for them and put them both in uniform. Yes, indeed. That play there, that reminds me of some of the guys that I played with to have that suddenness, able to get into the backfield almost about the time the ball snapped and make a play. How about that tackle for a loss?
Absolutely. He did a lot of that last week when he was named the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. One of the guys on the team was saying, hey, yeah, we called him the disruptor, and that's carrying forward again.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Boy, you got to think that having the 37-year-old veteran Jason Witten back at tight end is going to be great for Dak Prescott for plays just like that. And you think to last year when Witten wasn't there, it was kind of a rotating carousel. They had Blake Jarwin, Jeff Swaim, Rico Gathers, Dalton Schultz. But Witten back out there and doing his thing
crap,
again.
I missed the tackle.
He's got daylight. Touchdown, Cowboys. Michael Gallup with touchdown number 7 on the year as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase it.
Extra point by Marr, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. So the drive there, they went 80 yards in 3 plays. And it culminates in a Dallas touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded at the 8. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here comes Eagle offense now as they get set to take over here. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
They'll begin the drive with Howard. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed. But they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Demarcus Lawrence in there to get him sack number 14 for him on the year. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. Shotgun now for Wentz. And he connects with Ertz. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A gain of 22.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. Now it's the all-purpose back. This is Darren Sproles pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Squeeze, double. Check 43.
Now Howard. He's got the 1st down and more inside the 40. And finally taken down at the 34. A big pickup there for the Eagles' 1st down, 18 yards.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
A good run by Jordan Howard. And now another 1st and 10.
They're running it. Shoot!
And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. Cowboys and Eagles, of course, such a great rivalry. Last year, the Cowboys got the better of the Eagles both times that they met, with Philly coming off their Super Bowl title. But in weeks 10 and 14, it was Dallas beating Philly by a single possession. Wentz going to try and throw on 3rd. And Jeffrey's got it. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. To give them the yardage on the pass and half the distance to the goal line.
Because they're inside the 30, so now you don't march off the full 15, right? You have half the distance to the goal. In any event, that's precious real estate given up.
They run with Howard. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop it right around the 1. 5 yards, a good run there, and now 2nd and goal. Howard all alone in the backfield on 2nd and goal.
Leave 5-3, leave 5-3.
Now Wentz. And that's going to be caught for an Eagles touchdown. Deshaun Jackson with touchdown number 7 on the year, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. That time, a 9-play drive, and it was capped off by an Eagles touchdown. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense getting the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, it's working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
7-7, our score after 1. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Elliott. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
A 1st down carry by Elliott. He's got the 1st down and more past midfield. Touchdown, Cowboys! Ezekiel Elliott, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Cowboys have taken the lead.
Defense kills me.
And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Extra point by Marr, up and good. And that makes the score 14-7. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And it culminates in a touchdown run by Ezekiel Elliott. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Hard to believe, but the regular season's starting to draw to a close. We've got the final Sunday night game of the year coming up later tonight. Matt Nagy and the Bears hosting his mentor, Andy Reid, and the Kansas City Chiefs. That'll be a good one from Frigid Soldier Field. And then tomorrow night, the final Monday night game of the year, Packers and Vikings from Minneapolis. Jalen Smith, who took a huge step forward last year, in on the tackle for Dallas. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Running with Howard. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Throwing now is Wentz. Caught by the tight end Ertz. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Now the offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. Here we go on 4th down with Wentz. He'll hit Jackson complete. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. Just a gain of 3, but they'll certainly take it as they convert on 4th down.
I remember in pregame when we were talking to him on the field, and he took his gloves off and showed us his fingers. A few misshapen ones in there, and now we know why, trying to catch those types of bullets.
That was a dart. Yeah, even for a talented receiver, those are tough to hang on to. Had a bit of a lane there, took advantage of it. Give him 7 there on the first down carry. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Throwing on 2nd and 3. Wentz. And he'll hit Jeffrey complete. 85 catches for him on the year now, and the result there is a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
On first down, they run with Howard. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. It's a gain of 13 and a first down for Philadelphia.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone. Lion. Hey, check 24. Watch 24.
To throw, it's Wentz. It's brought in by Jeffrey. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Alshon Jeffrey, his 11th touchdown of the year, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. And a nice job by him to catch the slant and then navigate and break free.
And receivers love slant routes because it gets the ball in their hands so quickly and oftentimes on the move, And when they're on the move like that, then they get to use their best asset, which is usually their speed.
And their speed sometimes, like this instance, can take them into the end zone. Elliott good with a PAT. And we've got a tie game here in a back-and-forth first half. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. The result, Philadelphia in the end zone. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. He gets away from 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go.
And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match in a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
The first down run for Elliott will net him about 5 yards. It's second down. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Amari Cooper, the intended target, and it's third down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. Here's Prescott. Complete to Jason Witten. Dak finding his tight end Witten, and the Cowboys have a first down. Dak Prescott last year against Philly, boy, biggest game of his career passing yardage-wise, 455 yards, 3 touchdowns in a 29-23 December victory over the Eagles. Elliott going to bite off about 7 on that one. A good run on first down. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
10th carry now for Elliott. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Prescott now. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
There we go.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. The Eagles coming out as they get ready. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. On the handoff, this is Howard. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, it's Howard, and he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. It's an Eagles first down on a gain of 11.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Here's Wentz to throw. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Wentz off the fake handoff to Howard.
Yeah.
That's caught by the big tight end, Dallas Goedert. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 41-yard line.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
On first down, Howard. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. He was brought down there by Will Parks.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. A gain there of 21 yards. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
Howard has the first down and then some. And he'll finally be taken down at the 2-yard line. Now we'll get a stoppage here as it appears we've got an Eagle slow to get up. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back.
I think it's the 3rd week in a row he's left the game injured.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll try to run with Sanders. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll bring up a 2nd and goal.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
On 2nd and goal, Wentz. This will be caught at about the 5. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Only able to pick up 2, and that leads us to 3rd and goal.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Wentz now on 3rd and goal toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And the kick by Elliott is good. And they take a 17-14 lead. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone, get you 6?
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. You're down 3, under a minute to go. How aggressive are you going to be in this spot?
Not as aggressive as I probably would want to be. Only down 3. I mean, it might as well be even going into the half. That's not a deficit that makes me want to push it and potentially make a mistake in this situation and cost myself even more points.
But, boy, getting into field goal range and tying it, that's tempting.
Awfully enticing. You almost talked me into it.
They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. And this won't get there. Won't be online either. It's no good. Off to the right. So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. The weather might be cold, but the playoff races are heating up here on this final Sunday before Christmas. So let's get to it. We'll get started up at FedEx Field in our nation's capital. Where was the Redskins who get the victory at home? Adrian Peterson, a touchdown run in the victory. From there, let's get over to the Rockies to check out the Broncos at home in Denver. And they were losers in that game as they fall to the visiting Detroit Lions. Matthew Stafford, strong in the victory as it pushes his guys back above the 500 mark on the year. Lastly, let's get you way up to Seattle. See what's happening with the Seahawks. And they've got the lead over the visiting Arizona Cardinals. Tyler Lockett, a touchdown reception. Meanwhile, in our game, no shortage of offense as each team has been able to move the ball effectively. Will the defenses show up in the second half? To find out, we give it back to our commentators, Brandon Gotten and Charles Davis.
I've just had 2 bad defensive plays in this entire game.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Cowboys now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. As pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Derek Barnett, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. You think back to last year, Dak Prescott was sacked 56 times, second most in the league behind Deshaun Watson of the Texans. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down.
Let's make these babies cry.
Draw play, Elliott. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. That time they're able to bottle him up, but he's having a really nice game.
I agree with that. Let's just go big picture, right? Every back that's in the Hall of Fame had carries where they didn't gain yardage or they lost yardage, but you stick with them, don't you? When they're having a good game, keep feeding them.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long, why are you calling play action?
Because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking, but to me it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play-action sack. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. Now Sproles. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Carson Wentz and the Eagles getting set to take over. He's had one of those games that any quarterback loves, not only being able to complete some passes, but some deep passes.
And it's pretty to watch. I mean, it's an absolute joy to see, but let's face it, we got to give a little bit of credit where it's deserved, right?
Well, the protection's been great, if that's where you're going.
Yeah, protection's been phenomenal, but how about how it's been spotlighted, right? Our producer, Christian McLeod, our director, Kyle Burt, the rest of the crew, what they put together with these images and pictures, if you're an offensive lineman, that's what you're taking with you to contract time.
They're going to have a lot to take to contract time if this continues. A run there on 1st down and a pretty good one of 5 yards, so make it 2nd and 5. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Play fake to Sanders. Now here's Wentz. Burks over the middle. This one good for a 1st down, and also that is catch number 90 for him now on the season.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him.
Kill.
Throwing on 1st is Wentz. Ertz has it left side. And down inside the 15 he goes. A big pickup there for the Eagles' 1st down, 18 yards.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Here we go. Hey, kill it. Hey, force, don't kill it.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and it'll be 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
180!
I hope you brought your lunch because I'm about to take you to school.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. This is caught, and he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry? ball gets tipped in the air. Because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
I'm trying to collect. Begin. Tyson. Check Mike 54. Mike 54. Man, I got you.
From the gun, it's Wentz. And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on the sack.
Well, if you're going to throw the ball on 1st and goal from the 2, the worst thing that should result is an incompletion for you offensively. But, Brandon, this is a different type of football. Back in my day, 1st and goal from the 2, a lot of big people with big neck rolls, they were on the field trying to ram it into the end zone.
2nd down and goal. Wentz. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. It's Christian Covington who notches the sack there.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
1st and 2nd down were a disaster. Both went backwards. Now it's 3rd and 18. They need something big. To throw is Wentz. Screen pass to Sproles. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. That'll back them up 2 yards and also bring up 4th. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a 1st down.
Can't believe I missed a field goal.
So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon, so apparently neither guy is immune.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with a game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
On 2nd down, Elliott. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't it?
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Derek Barnett make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
That's the 2nd sack of the game, and the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
Sproles, the return. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Carson Wentz, along with his offense, heading back out there for their next possession. And you think he personally is evaluating his game so far? He was pretty good in the 1st half, been good so far here in the 3rd quarter. He's got to like it, right?
Not looking for the dramatics here. Not trying to set the world on fire in terms of stats. It's almost like you're driving. Hands at 10 and 2, alert for anything out there, watching for trouble on the road, and making sure you get the team home.
The bus driver. See if he can drive the bus here again on this drive. From the 39, Wentz. This is Ertz on the pitch and catch. It's an Eagles 1st down on a gain of 11.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Sanders, and he's got this one across midfield into Cowboy territory. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Another run with Sanders. And an alley to run. And there is a flag. So a big 2nd down pickup, but will it hold? So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold.
Cut!
Great 15, great 15.
Right there, 54, right there. 54, Mike. Here we go.
Let's find 7.
Tighten up.
Wait, good.
Throwing is Wentz. That's complete to Jeffrey. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for 3rd down. Alshon Jeffrey so dangerous even when a defender's near him.
He's got such a big body, ability to run, positions himself well, excellent control. And you're exactly right. Even if people are draped on him, he often comes up with the catch. He really symbolizes what people are looking for in receivers in today's NFL.
On 3rd down, they'll run it with Sanders. And he's going to have the 1st down at about the 38. Now we'll get a stoppage here as it appears we've got an Eagle slow to get up. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
That's what I do.
Sunday.
He's checking crap.
Sunday.
Hey, watch that. Check Mike 54. Mike 54.
Wentz now to throw. Flushed out right. He's going to take off with it. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
1 quarter remains here in Week 16. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Done. 180.
54, Mike. Watch the backer.
Lefty.
Check hot route. Hot. 54's Mike. Check. Watch it.
To throw again on 2nd down. Wentz. And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on the sack. Demarcus Lawrence. What a season he continues to have. His 15th sack of the campaign. I think you'd have to say defensively, these guys are doing their job pretty well, right?
Yeah, we talked about them holding them under 20 points, right, on defense. And they've done that. They've held them. The problem is their own offense hasn't answered their challenge, which was to score more.
Yeah, exactly. I remember you saying magic number was right around 20, and the offense has been the issue. You're right. On 3rd and long, it's Wentz.
Great.
And the pressure gets to him again. Demarcus Lawrence, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. And as this offense makes their way back out, Nfc Playoff Race time. We give you a look at what's going on there. And with teams jockeying for position, one thing we do know already, they're all set. They've got the #1 seed in their back pocket with still 2 games to go.
And that gives you a chance to experiment a little bit as well. It doesn't mean that you just have wholesale changes, starters don't play. I'm not talking about strictly that. I'm talking about guys who maybe haven't played enough during the year. Or you want to see them in different spots. You know, can that running back split out and catch the football a little bit as you head to the playoffs? Maybe you run a few plays to put them on tape and make your opponents watch them and say, oh, we got to prepare for that. A lot of ways they can go, knowing that they own the #1 spot.
11 yards and a Cowboy 1st down.
Partner, he sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go, and let's see who's faster.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Well, using Zeke Elliott in the passing game, that's something Cowboy fans are getting used to. Last year, 77 receptions, and you think back to his rookie season, he had 32 and then 26 his second year, but he's really on the uptick. On second down now, it's Elliott, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4, and that'll bring up a third down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. The Cowboys on third down, 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 4. Prescott from the gun. And that's Elliott, complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 14 yards, good for a Cowboy first down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the
nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Last year, Dak Prescott had 3 fourth-quarter comebacks, and he's in search of another one right now. Another try after the first down sack. Prescott, that's complete to Cobb. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. The Cowboys on third down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is 3rd and 11. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. He'll leave this for Ware. And he'll only get this to about the 44 as they stop him short of the line to gain. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And this will be spotted on the other side of the field. It's a 61-yard attempt. And this kick is not going to get there. It's short and no good. Here's Carson Wentz now with the rest of his offensive unit heading onto the field. And right now, probably just one thing in his mind. It's getting back to the hot start because he's really faded.
And ordinarily when that happens, the quarterback, as you know, is usually the leader of the squad. Now there's probably a silent camaraderie that comes around him saying, hey, guess what? We got you. Don't worry about it. Let's go, big fella. Because they know more times than not, he tends to pick things up, and they tend to play well.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Mike 54. You remember me? You remember me? Let's go, baby.
Now Wentz. Caught by the tight end Ertz. 10 yards there and an Eagle first down. Well, probably the only thing he did wrong there was go out of bounds, nursing this 4th quarter lead. You want to stay in, eat the clock.
Yeah, you got to love the effort, the catch, the extra yardage, but you got to know the situation. Stay in bounds, young man.
On 1st and 10, it's Clement. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Sean Lee, the Pro Bowler, there for the tackle. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked up by Leighton Vander Esch. And he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe.
I should have seen him.
A critical error there in a tight game in the 4th.
All all you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth, pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. Derek Barnett make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Here's Prescott. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
Prescott, a dump off to Elliott. And they do get this across midfield to the 49, but a small consolation prize as he's well short of the first. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And this kick is not going to get there. It's short and no good. A fourth quarter miss like that, there is no lonelier feeling than that kicker right now.
As we all know, a lot of these games, they come down to special teams. And when that chance comes, you have to perform in order to help your team get over the top.
Could have tied it. Instead, they remain down 3. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. An excellent pickup of 20 yards.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, fourth quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say, don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching in Atlanta, our apologies. On first down, Clement. Oh, no, he lost the football. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line.
I know when you're looking at the scoreboard clock, we're getting near the end of this game. But they were in what was really called 4-minute offense. And that's practice, being taking care of the football, taking time off the clock, not giving them a chance to come back. But bottom line is, what did I say in the beginning? Taking care of the football. That didn't happen.
Didn't do it. A costly turnover. A gain of 4 on the play, and that'll make it a 2nd down.
Don't be mad. Don't be mad.
There we go. Sliding.
And we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53.
Now Prescott. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. It's caught, Cooper. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 11 yards and a Cowboy first down. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. Prescott finding Witten. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I'm going to keep firing.
Prescott throwing complete to Cobb. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. A very solid gain of 27. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now Elliott, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal.
53, Mike 53. Watch the screen.
They'll try again with Elliott. A very valuable 9-yard pickup, and now they're set up a little better here for 3rd and goal. Now the Eagles will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Check 53,
Back to throw. That ball is caught. It's Gallup. Touchdown, Cowboys. Michael Gallup, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Cowboys have retaken the lead.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but not. You got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
So now Wentz and the Eagles down 21-17, a minute 36 to go. A possible crippling loss to their playoff status in the balance, barring a late score.
Here we go. 280!
I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you.
Wentz off the fake handoff to Howard. And this would have been intercepted if he could have gotten the feet in. He didn't, so it's incomplete. Boy, that one really could have turned this thing upside down.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath, because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle, kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Jalen Smith in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down.
Mike 55, Mike 55.
Ain't no such thing as a loss. We taking wins home.
Back to throw. Wentz. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. 2 huge plays there down the stretch. The sack on 2nd down. Now they force the incompletion. That's going to lead to a do-or-die 4th down.
And they look like they've got the confidence right now that no matter what gets thrown against them, whatever play gets run, they have the ability to shut it down. They're just brimming with it right now.
They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And Dallas, they'll take over in terrific field position. Well, their first 4th down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went
loss.
for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any 4th down stop is a big momentum play.
Here we go. 480.
53, Mike.
I smell fear in that offense.
They go back to Elliott. He's been busy. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. So this one will end in a victory for the Dallas Cowboys. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for Dallas, they continue to rack up the victories as this one moves them to 13-2 on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Philadelphia, it's a bad time of year to take a loss like this as they drop to 10-5. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants.